Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. First of all, I hope everybody really had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. You know, I know we did. Michelle and I, we had a great weekend. Spring is coming up, so it was a spring cleaning this week. So, and I know many of you probably gonna be doing some of the same thing. But also, I hope that you got out and had a wonderful, wonderful time. We got an absolutely sensational show coming your way. One of my colleagues on E360 is going to talk to us and educate us on the purpose of branding. And branding is not just a title kick. It's just you and whatever you're doing. Branding in a television show, branding in radio, branding in life. So we're going to learn a whole lot of things about that today. But before I even get started, I got to always bring my executive producer and co-host, Dr. Michelle Cooley. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited about the show today because, people hear branding, terminology a lot, but they kind of know what it is, but they don't really know the full spectrum of what it is and, why it's so important, especially if you want to if you want to be recognized, so to speak, be associated with a certain product, service. Someone sees this and like, oh, that's so and so, that's so and so, but it's so much more than that. We got this fantastic guest on the show today. And of course, she is one of your peers at E360 TV. So we're really excited. And yes, we did a lot of spring cleaning this weekend.
Yeah, we did a lot of spring cleaning, but I'm excited about this guest. So, Michelle, why don't you introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and this absolutely fantastic guest?
Yes, the title of the show is What is Branding to You? And we're getting to know podcast, TV streaming host, producer, keynote speaker, 10 times international best-selling Amazon author, purpose visibility, social media strategist, and CEO, Barbara J. Beckley. And she's going to talk about, what is branding and also about being your true self and how to show up in your purpose and discuss how we can get lost in the crowd of your own platform. And we're going to talk about comparison, but let's talk about this wonderful guest. Barbara Beckley's like I said, a podcast, TV streaming host, and producer under E360 TV, keynote speaker, 10 times international best-selling Amazon author, purpose visibility, and social media strategist. She is the founder and CEO of Diamond Factor LLC to assist women to understand their PPD, purpose, passion, and drive. Her mission is to overcome their challenges so they can shine like a diamond in their business and personal life and increase their visibility. I love that. She helps experts and leader entrepreneurs shine online so they can double their social media following and boost their authority through her keynote speaking and workshops. And she is most known for her signature program, Social Media for the Biz Queen, and many other services and products for personal growth and awareness. Also, to help increase visibility, she does interviews to assist in promoting a person's business and or special causes, which includes image and content coaching. You can find Barbara on social media where she loves connecting and sharing tips and strategies on all things concerning your purpose and your growth. Welcome to the show, Barbara Beckley.
Oh my God. Can I just take you and put you in my phone when people call and they get all that? Thank you. I am so humbled and appreciative to be on the show with these wonderful powerhouse. Thank you, Dr. Michelle and Dr. James. And I also want to congratulate Dr. James for getting his presidential legacy. Let me say it right, Legacy Lifetime Achievement Award, Obama Award. I'm like, wow. Yes. Uh-oh.
Dr. Cooley, we can't hear you.
I said, first of all, I want to thank you. And been waiting to get you on the show for a while now, and we finally made it happen.
Yes.
Because you are doing so many great things out there, not only as a host and not only in your job, but a 10-time international bestseller, and just doing a lot of great things out there that's inspiring everyone. And so that's right there is what I call a hero.
Oh, wow. You are the first to call me that. So I am very, very grateful and humbled. But
So,
yeah, I just thank you so much.
so Barbara, Michelle had told our audience a little bit about you. Can you go into a little bit more detail? Tell the world who is Barbara.
Yes.
Who is Barbara
Wow.
Beckler?
Who is Barbara J. Beckley? Well, first of all, I know being online is wonderful because you get to be with wonderful people in different countries, different states. So I know my two hosts that I'm with right now, I think they're in California, I think. And I'm in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Yes, I know. It's cold. It just got done raining and icing and everything else out there. But been here for 15 years. And I'm trying to get to a hot climate. So that's
You,
one thing I want
you
to.
mentioned you mentioned Kenosha. I used
Yeah.
to live in Kenosha, right off 35th Street, I think.
Oh,
Uh,
look at
t-
that!
uh,
Small world.
I think they had a Toyota dealership or something that's still
Yeah,
there. I forget which one.
yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so I'm very
Sometimes I say
familiar.
Kenosha, and people be like, "Where's that at?" But thank you. Yeah, that's good.
Oh
But
yeah, actually I really enjoyed Kenosha when I was there.
you did, yeah. It's changing. It's changing. But I just can't do the cold. I can't do the snow no more. I'm just tired. I'm like, why am I in an area that I don't even like shoveling?
Oh, so tell so you grew up in Kenosha.
No, that's the funny thing. I grew up in Chicago, Illinois.
Mhm.
I was born there, raised, and up to in my 20s, like late 20s, I moved out to Kenosha, Wisconsin with my husband at the time. And we basically was going to start a church with a bigger church and decided to come to Kenosha, Wisconsin. And then we've been here ever since. And then things change. As you know, life changes. Sometimes relationships change. And we're basically separated right now. But sometimes separation can be a good thing. And for me, it was a good thing. I don't mind sharing that because some people be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "No. This is good. This is good." God has something different.
And you're right.
Yeah.
Separation of whatever that might be. Things change as we mature in life, and as we discover other things and want to grow.
Yeah.
And sometimes current situation, is
Yeah.
not your final destination.
That,
You know,
I like that. I like
so,
that. I'm going to use that one. Yeah.
absolutely. So Barbara, have you always wanted to be an entrepreneur, or is it just something that's hit you one day and you're like, I like this, and let me run with this. Talk to
Well,
us a little bit about
I fought being an entrepreneur. I'm just gonna one thing about me, I am totally open and just vulnerable here because I want people to understand and have connection. Because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I always want to be an entrepreneur and I want to own my own business. And then way back in the back of their mind, they're like, did I really want to do this? This is a lot going on. I got to make sure, okay, I'm not getting a paycheck. Oh, the reason why I'm not getting a paycheck because I'm not out there showing up or I'm not out there selling my product and services. Was this a mistake? And at the beginning part, I was in that mode. I was like, I want to take on and just show up and help people, especially women in business, to make sure that they understand who they are, what they do, and be visible about it. And then I told myself, I said, well, I got to do that myself.
that.
So that I'm going to add that. I know we're going to be talking about branding and branding you. You kind of took a little of my thunder, but that's okay because we both understand. We both understand about the branding. It's not like you said. It's not just your website. It's not your colors. It's not your fonts. Okay, that's the tools. That's what you use for your visibility and being out there in your branding. But it's you. I mean, and if you want to sum it all up in one sentence, and we're getting detail about it, but your branding is you. My brand is Barbara J. Beckley.
Mhm.
Dr. James Cooley is Dr. James Cooley's brand. That's his brand.
Mhm.
And everything that comes from that is the gifts and the talents and the expertise that he brings to the world to help others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, being an entrepreneur, what are some of the most rewarding things that you have gotten out of that, because you're helping so many people and you continue to work with others? So, can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, you just said it. You just said it, doctor, that after I got over the thing of, do I want to be an entrepreneur or not? Then I was doing corporate, and I still do corporate. So I'm both. So I'm that double-edged sword, like they say. And I found out by being an entrepreneur, you can set the tone, you can set the culture, you can set who you're trying to help. You can set your mission. And I was like, when I thought about all that and really moving forward in what I was doing, I was like, this is the reward. And when I started having certain coaching programs, either one-on-one or in groups, and I would explain and just give my expertise and just say, I really want to help them. I really want to solve their problem. That's me. I'm always like, I want to solve their problem, whatever they have. And when I see the light bulb pop up in the person's head, and they're like, and everybody, I know you all been there, even if you're not a teacher, you're not an educator, you're not a coach, you see when you say something to somebody that they didn't understand and they have revelation from you saying to you or awareness, and they're like, oh my God, I didn't know that. Or thank you so much. Now I get it. The connection happened. And that's what told me I have to continue on this journey as an entrepreneur. Because when you see the eyes open in the brain and the heart and everything open up from somebody else's life, and they're transforming little by little from what you did, that's what it is. There's nowhere going back.
That's what it's all about, is when you do see that light, and then when you know that they see the light now, that's when the joy, I believe, comes in. I'll tell you, we have to take a station break, but if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform. Was it E360 TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever platform that you're watching this on, and ask this young lady any questions that you might have. Remember, it's your life. We'll be back shortly after the break.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you. Yeah, yeah.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I got this absolutely wonderful guest here, Miss Barbara Beckley, and we're getting ready to get to the real meat of this, because we're talking about branding. Branding is just like what she mentioned a minute ago. Branding is you. Branding is who you are. Especially if you're in business, if you got a product, people are buying in what they see in you. And so you have to have the right brand. You have to present the right brand.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't sell your product,
Yeah.
whatever that might mean. So if you want to be part of this conversation, just go to the comments wherever you're watching this at and ask this young lady any questions that you like. But I'm getting back to business. hey, 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 Barbara, you are a social media strategist. Please tell our listeners and viewers exactly what that is.
Yeah. So one of the things that I do, I'm a purpose of visibility and social media strategist. And I put strategist there because I found out, especially with women that are in business that I work with a lot, is that they have a tendency of somebody told them, you need to post on Facebook, LinkedIn, everything else, just throw stuff out there and then have the hope mentality of that somebody is going to hopefully either give you an emoji or a comment or anything. And a lot of times you hear crickets. And see, Dr. James knows this. We talked about this behind the scenes. And I tell people, I'm like, you have to have a strategy. And I always ask the question, when you started your business, or even if you started working at a company, you had a thought process. You had a vision, you had some kind of mission in your head. Maybe it wasn't written down like the professional how it looks, but somewhere in your mind, you created something to get to that next level of what you're trying to do. Why wouldn't you do the same thing on social media? Especially when it ties into you, and guess what? Your brand. Yes.
You're absolutely right. Now, talking about branding, the title of the show is "What is branding to you?" I'm now, I'm getting ready to sit back and just get educated because I know you're getting ready to break it down. So, can you tell our listeners and viewers why you came up with this title and why it's so important?
Yeah. So there's a story behind everything. We all have our signature story in life. And the one thing I love about stories is that you get to understand the person, why they do it. So my story, and I'll make it short as I can here. I was very heavily bullied when I was younger. I mean, from the ages of 7 to probably around 11 or 12. Basically, I was like, you're ugly, you're fat, you'll never be nothing, you're not smart, you're not intelligent. Why are you here on this earth? Even to the point of saying that I was an alien. Yes, yeah, they thought I was alien. And at that time, when you have all these children telling you this one thing, what you think happens? Because we get it in adults too. Okay, we all have been there where somebody said something negative to us, and it gets in our head and it gets in our hearts and it gets in our mind. And then we have that as a foundation in our life if you let it. If you let it. And I'm putting that there because you have to make that choice. And just 3 angels in my life that I always give them so much props for is a teacher called Mrs. Kraft at my age back then, went with me every day after I was hearing all that negative, that noise. And she told me, you are smart, Barbara. You're pretty. You will be somebody when you grow up. And then she gave me the diamond story. And that's what started. I know Dr. Cooley asked me a little while ago where the diamond factor came in. She told me about the story. She said, you are just a diamond in the rough. And you are being molded. And the heat's coming and everything else is coming with that. Then you're going to be this wonderful, facet diamond. Everybody see that? Be that wonderful facet diamond. So this diamond went through a lot. I went through a lot. Probably Dr. James went through a lot. His wife, we all did. But from that point, that's became my purpose growing up. Because not only she said that, my dad told me that. And I don't know if they talked. I don't know to this day if she told him, well, yeah, I told your daughter she's a diamond in the rough and she's gonna be a diamond. I don't even know, but he would tell me the same thing. And then something really hit, a turning point. Remember, the awareness in your lives, a turning point. Age 17 for myself. 3 days before Thanksgiving, 1985. I will never, ever forget it. My diamond in my life, and I know you mentioned before about who's your hero, who's the person you look up to. My dad, I look up to. Because through all that mess and that clutter that people were telling me that I wasn't nothing, he was telling me I was his princess and I was going to be somebody and I'm just going to have to learn and it's growing and he's going to be there every step of the way. Well, that particular diamond that I call my dad died when I was 17. He passed away. And he only didn't pass away. He was murdered. So his life was taken, I always say, from me. Because he was the person I was looking at and saying, thank you for saying that I have a value. Thank you for letting me know that I have a purpose. Thank you for letting me know that I am somebody in this earth. And when that happened, I went through a dark time, Dr. James. I went through a whole dark time because after I found out that the death of my dad, I was like, well, why am I here? Why should I stay? He was the only person, it seemed like, in my life that was telling me that I can move all mountains, as they say today. And I was on a 40-hour suicide watch at that time, age 17, 1 year before I was going to graduate from high school. What turned a third angel in my life? So it was my teacher, my dad, and a nurse. Didn't know who I was from anybody else. She was in my room that day and she came in and she did my vital signs. And I was contemplated at that time that I was going to just let it go. I said, I'm done. I'm just going to give my life up. It doesn't make sense. I'm going to hear those noises again. I'm hearing, I was coming up again where I wasn't going to be anybody. And the nurse came in my room, Dr. James. And she took my vital signs and she turned around just to go out. Then she turned back around and looked at me real crazy. And the only thing I was thinking at that time was, I want to end this. Can she just leave the room? I'm just being real here. That's what I was thinking. She turned around, Dr. James, and told me, I don't know where is this coming from, but something telling me to let you know. And she just like that you are just a diamond in the rough and you are going to be helping others so they can understand their diamond in their life. And I knew right then and there, Dr. James, that was a sign of God, from my dad, from God telling me, don't give up and move forth. And from that point, Dr. James, that became my foundation to make sure, first of all, that everybody understands they have value, that everybody understands they have a purpose, that everybody understands that whatever they have, be it if they know how to play an instrument, sing a song, be an entrepreneur, whatever, you have a purpose in life. And understand that that's going to drive you to whatever you do. And that's what I always say, consider your brand. So I'm linking it together that it's not about the websites and everything. Yes, you have to have, those are tools. Social media is a tool. Email marketing is a tool. But the biggest thing is you and what you bring, what your value you bring, what gifts you bring, what expertise that you bring to the table, and to add what problem you solve.
Wow. That was remarkable, the way that you laid that out. And as you know, that was all God. God letting you know that even though your protector is not here on earth with you, but in essence, he is, because I am going to continue to protect you and I'm going to continue to guide you. And he placed that that message in that nurse. And that probably was a lifesaver. Because so what would you, when the nurse said that and you thought that, did you figure out where God, I think he know what I was going to do? I mean, tell us.
Yeah, when you say it like that, Dr. J, yeah, because I was like, first I was like, how did she know what? like you found me out. It was almost like you found me out. I was about to, when you was walking out the door, as I was doing this in my head to her, she was like, nope. And because it's not like she stood away a little bit from my bed. She came right in my face, Dr. Cooley, and told me this. And I'm sitting like, and I'm on sedative, I'm on sedatives and stuff and in and out and kind of like looking at her and like, okay, it was like, boom, like a voltage just hit. And that's how I felt. Yeah.
Wow. And at that moment, did you have a change of thought and that's what I call that aha moment or refocusing, come to Jesus, or a moment where you sit back and rethought about that and probably came up with, yes, I do have purpose in this life, and I will be somebody, and I'm going to just get rid of the white noise that's coming in, all the noise that's pushing from the inside. From the outside on the inside. Talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, that was the awareness part, was when that nurse came in, because that was the third time I heard Diamond in the Rough in my life. So I said, it has to be something up with this. Why is there's 3 individuals in different times saying this to me? And then I knew at that time that my purpose was to help, be the voice of others that didn't think they had value, that was getting maybe bullied, not even in school, but just in everyday life. I mean, we get it all the time. As entrepreneurs, we get it. As if you're working in corporate, you get it. I mean, we deal with it all the time. So I feel like I was that sounding board to say, okay, I need to make sure now that now my life was saved, because now that like you said, that moment happened. I was like, that jolt. I knew right there I needed to. This was my mission in life, period. Now, at that time at 17, didn't know exactly what I needed to really do, but I knew the biggest thing is that I need to make sure I live for once. And second, to make people understand that they are valued, that they, and whatever they choose. And see, the other thing was, a lot of people times, they don't really understand their purpose. That's why I attach purpose to my title. When I say purpose, visibility, social media strategist. And I always say, you got to understand that before you get into any social media, before you get to any visibility that you're doing in life. You need to understand the real you and own the real you and love the real you. And I know a lot of people say that and they're like, yeah, that's easy to say, better than done, Barbara. But you got to go through the process. Because some days I don't like myself, I'll be honest. Some days I look at me and I'm like, ugh. And then but then the foundation of that is to bring me back up to that is, but remember, there's people out there is waiting for you to help them understand who they are. So, okay, say yuck right now, get over yourself and move forward.
Wow. I'm going to play a video shortly, and it's going to really bring out what you just said. But, we have to take a station break. But we're going to come back with a lot more just remarkable guests that I have on the show today. Kind of threw me off target a little bit with the branding, but it will well work with the life lesson. So I want everybody to pay attention, come back, and we'll see you shortly after the break with more of Barbara. It's your life. I'm James J.C. Cooley, and see you shortly.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I tell you, this absolutely magnificent guest. The way that she laid out her story and how she explained that this is how she discovered that she was a diamond in the rough. I wouldn't say diamond in the rough anymore because that diamond is polished and it's all round and smooth and she's doing great things with a lot of things that she's doing, and we're gonna dive off into those shortly. And if you want to be part of this great conversation, come on, just go to the comments, ask her any question that you have, and I'm sure she's gonna get you an answer. You know, Dr. Cool, I think you got a couple of questions that you're gonna ask Barbara.
Oh, most definitely. So, Barbara, you are so inspirational. Let me just put it out there. You are so inspirational. And, yes, we all have purpose. The phrase showing up for your purpose, it's simple to understand the words, but for someone who doesn't know what their purpose is or how to be their true self, can you kind of break it down, especially when they want to shine as the diamond that they are?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Michelle. So I always tell people, and this will give you assignment. It's easy to say it that way. This is what I do when I do with people that I talk to, is go into a wonderful room in your house or your apartment with a piece of paper and a pen. And I just want them to just really just let everything around them, move everything around where they are, and just be in that zone. And then I want them to write down everything they like to do, everything that draws them, excites them, that just, I just love doing that. If it's race car driving, if it's, anything, it's anything you write down. Some people are like, well, do I need to see, they start getting technical and they be like, well, do I need to write down 5 things or what no, write down everything. I love eating popcorn. I love ice cream. Just write everything down, because in that moment, this is where you're being your true you. Mm-hmm. This is where you're bringing out all of the talents, even though you don't even think at that time it's a talent. It's a talent. I told one person I was talking to, and they said, well, I just love to organize, Barbara. But to me, everybody, most people organize, and I don't think that's really a talent. I just think that's like a skill. I said, but think about that. You know how much with organization, I just told them, just me alone, I would love to get you right now, because I need to organize. I got shows, I coach people, I speak, I do books, and I'm trying to organize all this, and you could be a project manager. And she's like, wait a minute. Project manager? She said, you just put a label. So I said, that's what I'm saying. So don't take what you do and say, well, yeah, that's something little. And I think a lot of times we throw that stuff to the side, mm-hmm. and that's where our deepest purpose is on what we do and what we love to do and what we'll get up and be so happy about. And sometimes people say, how the word, they ask this question, what would you do would you do this even if you didn't get paid for it? That's like a normal question a lot of people ask. Mm-hmm. What I do right now, I'm telling you, Dr. Michelle, if I didn't get paid, well, let's just say this. I don't want to put people like, okay, I don't have to pay for you, Barbara. But if it was that way, mm-hmm. I would do this even though if I didn't get a paycheck, because I love helping people understand how visibility is important. I love them understanding that you're brilliant. I love all that. So you have to sit yourself down and really do that brain dump.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things, like when you think of like a project you want to do and you get excited about it, this is something you want to do, as opposed to something that you're assigned to do. You're like, oh gosh. It's like, yeah. Okay. We all have those things, and sometimes that's just a part of life, and I get it. But I'm talking about your purpose and what you get excited about. So kind of tell us about your workshops, Barbara. What do they entail?
Yeah. So I have two work. Well, one is the social media for the biz queens. I created that because, first of all, we're always talking about we're busy. I told myself the other day, if I hear busy one more time from my mouth, I was going to just yell at myself because I feel like that's kind of, and don't get upset at me, audience, is a little excuse for us to not get what we need to get done. Because when you think about it, If you really want something done, or somebody really was going to give you something that you really needed for your business or your life, you would find a way. So that's why I was telling myself, okay, social media for the biz queens, we're going to take the time so you can invest in your life on how to strategize your business with this tool called social media world, the crazy world of social media. So I go from understanding who they are first, because it has to start with you. See that with branding, visibility, Dr. Michelle, anything that you do, it always has to boil down to the foundation of you. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that because we get so, congested with everything else that's going around us, and everybody else is doing what they're doing. And every coach, you got 5 million coaches now, you got 5 million influencers, you got all these people, and we get caught up in all that and we lose sight of who we are.
Oh my gosh, I definitely agree with that. Like, for instance, podcast hosts, television hosts, you got to be who you are. You're not trying to, be an Oprah. You're not trying to be this person or that person. Your personality is part of your branding, of who you are. And that's how you connect with people. And that's how you connect with the audience. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, about your true personality being part of your branding?
Yes, Dr. Michelle. Ooh, you hit it right on the head. Your personal, you're building a relationship with people. So you got to remember that when you have a show, let's just use that because you brought that about the host. We're all hosts of a show. You have to have a certain personality that brings people, that's going to draw people. That is your brand. That's your original brand. That is who you are. When you think about it, I'm going to use another example. And everybody, I'm going to say this, and I want you to say, what is that? And this is the brand. I'm going to say this. Da, 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 da.
Oh, I know that. Oh,
you heard it. You both heard it.
Yeah.
What is that? Da, 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 da. I'm loving it. What brand is that?
I can't remember. I can't think of it right now, but it's familiar.
I hear it almost every day, and I can't. And now I'm happy.
So the corporate is working it. Okay, you heard it. You know it's something. It's McDonald's. That's the McDonald's tagline. That's the McDonald's tagline. Da 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 da. And they add, I'm loving it now. That's been for a few years now. You have to create that sound, that da 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 da, for you.
Like the meow mix. Meow, 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 meow. You know what it's for. Or the progressive commercials flow.
Yes.
Flow, that character, that's their brand.
Yes.
Because everyone recognizes Flo and associates the character with progressive.
Yeah, with progressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your sound? What is your tagline? What do you do that brings? I always tell people, always your foundation is your PPD, and people are like, PPD, your purpose, your passion, your drive. Understand that, and you can go, and do everything in life because you have that foundation, your PPD. So I use that as one of my taglines. And when people hear that now, even though a lot of other people talk about purpose, everybody, your mama talking about purpose sometime, but you had to be that unique person. And I'm going to put here, I hope people can see this. These are some little diamonds here. There's a whole, you see all these little diamonds? Can you see them?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You see all the little diamonds? They're not real, so just let everybody know. These are not real. But you see all the little ones, right? These are everybody, all the different hosts, all the different coaches, all the different singers. Then you come in. You put in the middle. You see the middle?
Oh, yeah.
Little diamonds. That's you. You have to become that. You have to become this, the big diamond. That's your brand. You have to become you. People have to relate to you. They have to see you, feel you in a different way that they feel all these other diamonds that's talking, because they're talking the same thing. But what are you talking compared to what they're not talking? What makes you special? What makes you different than that other person that's talking about the same thing? And there's a whole bunch of social media strategies out there. I had to give a different talk than they do.
Wow. So you know what? You have this show called the Coaches Lounge.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested to hear a little bit more about that, especially our audience. What do you think, James?
I say we pick that up after the break because I don't want to have any interruption when she started explaining that one. But I do have one quick question. We got about a minute and a half before the break. Your website states why fit in when you was born to stand out? You know, can you explain that to our viewers and our listeners?
You was born, think about it. Everybody was born separate. We all have a mother. We all came out one at a time. So why all of a sudden, when we came out one at a time, now when we get out here in the world, we all want to combine with each other? Stand out with your purpose. Stand out with who you are, and remember that part of it. And that's going to help you create everything else that you're doing with your brand and your visibility.
Wow. We're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back and we're going to get some more of this absolutely fantastic guest. And if you want to be part of the conversation, just go to whatever platform you're watching it on. Ask her any questions you like, and I promise I'll get it on the screen. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll see you shortly after the break.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello. Hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, / Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and Barbara. I mean, I'm looking at the screen. I'm seeing all these viewers. You probably can't see it unless you watch it on YouTube. So you got a whole lot of people out here watching you and just enjoying you. Dr. Hall just made a comment over the last one question that you answered, where when you mentioned that you were not just born to fit in, you were born to stand out. And he's like, the way you explained that, he said, that's deep. And my SCO and one of my engineers is also watching the show, and he want me to let you know that I love this video. And he's watching this overseas. And he wants you to know that he's just enjoying this, because he put together a lot of these things for me. And he's sitting back and watching all this stuff. Yes. And so the message that you're conveying to our viewers and our listeners is, I'm telling you, it's right on. Other overseas comments, so keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so if you want to be part of this conversation, as you see, a lot of people watching. All you have to do is just whichever platform you're watching on, just go and just share your comments. We love those things. I want to talk a little bit about your show. First of all, why don't you tell our viewers and our listeners the title of your show, when your show come on, all of this, everything about your show.
Okay. Well, the title of my show is called The Coach's Lounge with Barbara J. Beckley. And I created it a year ago because I was thinking to myself, first of all, if I'm a visibility person, strategist, then I need to make people visible. And I noticed that a lot of coaches, educators, and mentors is not getting the love that they need. And then I was thinking, if people want to work with them, or if people want to, buy their product or services, wouldn't it be nice if you can just find out a little bit about what they do just in a 20-minute interview and how they solve whatever problem that you might need? So I created the Coaches Lounge. So I invite coaches on, and basically comes on for every Friday weekly, 9 o'clock Central Time, because we just changed the time, under the E360 TV family. And also I just like the wonderful doctors here, I put it on different other platforms. But the biggest thing that I created because I wanted to make sure to have a home for coaches so they can be out there telling people what they do. And then you as a viewer, as the audience, can say, either maybe I need to work with that coach. They're helping with finances, or they really understand, they got the expertise in what I need in the health industry, or I need some with my mindset. So there's personal growth there. So I bring them on, do a 20. And then what I have them do though, too, is give them the 3 main points from their coaching of what they bring to their audience. Because it's one thing to sit there and say, oh, I'm a coach and I do personal training, I do this. But okay, let's dig a little bit deeper. What do you actually help that person with? Where's the transformation when you coach them? Because when you think about a coach, it's not just they come and they say, hey, I'm gonna coach you for one day and that's it. Coaches stated, you got lifetime coaches that can stick with you for either a year or even life. So it's really important which one you choose. And I bring to the table for the Coaches Lounge of the coaches so you can choose the right one that's going to help you get that transformation in your life.
Right. So you bring a lot of different coaches and a lot of different varieties of field, and they share their ideas. That is absolutely brilliant. That is brilliant. And so you're doing that, but you also, wow, you're a 10-time best-selling international.
Every time I think about it, I'm like, wow. I amaze myself sometimes. Like, how did I do that?
Why don't you tell our viewers and our listeners about that, and tell us about some of your work?
Well, basically, I started. It's been maybe 5 years ago. I did my first book, anthology book I was in, and I started with that. And just a side tip: if anybody going to visibility, going to brand, I would advise everybody, if you're scared to do like a solo book, start an anthology book, do a chapter. And that's what I did. And a lot of people like, well, there's reasons. I did it because I wanted people to know who I was. I did it because, just to sell the book. I did it but what I did it for is to leave a legacy on this earth for people. And the first chapter I wrote was about the story earlier about my dad and how the whole thing about the purpose and understanding that whole thing in life. And all the other books that I'm in, either in a chapter or one of my solo books, is that I'm always wanting people to understand and get to that foundation, because I see it being missed, Doctor. I see it being missed because, again, we get caught up. And I know there was a question. I know somebody asked me even before the show. They say, how you get all, you got everybody doing everything. How do you just stand out? And I said, well, that's the part about the branding that I think is the challenge. That's the challenge of branding. And within the books that I write, I always want to bring up what your foundation should be, because no matter what challenge you have, if people are talking about you, if you're just like, I just don't know what is my theme? What is my jingle for myself? But you always go back to that. But who are you? Why you like doing what you do? Why does Dr. Cooley and his wife do what they do? All the accolades and stuff they get, that's amazing. And that's good for visibility because people see the credibility. That's important, credibility, because people understand that you're an expert. But they do because they got a heart, they got a passion. You could tell through the video. When I'm talking to both of them, you could tell the passion they have. What's your passion? What are you bringing out? What is your uniqueness? So that's what I bring in the books that I write, because I always want people to look back and say, no matter what's going on in the world, all that noise, as we always say, that, well, who are you? Stand in you, and you'll hit the people, you'll hit the clients, you'll hit the viewers, everybody that's going to reside to you. And that's really the title, just bring it all back around to visibility, is what what's branding really is people understanding, having that relationship with a person, even if it's just one person you can help and save somebody's life. They need to hear your uniqueness.
Wow. So you mentioned all these great things, and I can tell that you are an absolutely fantastic coach, because one of the things that I coach about and I speak about is vision, understanding, and focus. Vision.
Yeah.
A lot of us, a lot of us, we get the roadblocks, or we get the things that caught up in our mind because we cannot see past an obstacle. But with vision, and the way that you were just explaining that, you can visualize past that obstacle and be able to see on the other side, because that's where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
And in order to get there, having an understanding of what you want to create or build, or what you want to be there when you get there.
Yes.
And the last part of the building block is focus. Focus meaning you have to focus on one step at a time, one piece at a time. You can't build the whole thing just right away. So your foundation, all of these things have to come in parts. And a lot of stuff that we read about on your website, and you're doing all of these absolutely fantastic things. And we're down to about the last two minutes of the show, but where do you get all of this inspiration and all of these ideas from? Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Make it quick, because I know what time. Inspiration, always my dad. And then the ultimate is God, Jesus. That's my inspiration all the time. And one person that really pushes me that I think about is Helen Keller. And now a lot of people don't know Helen because I'm going way back. You got to look it up. Go to your Wikipedia. But this was a woman that couldn't hear, couldn't talk, was shut down from the outside world, and still found a way. Still found a way. So I want to leave everybody, no matter what, you are the lighthouse to people, and they need to know who you are. They need to know your brand. They need to know your visibility, because you'll be saving lives, because you're that lighthouse for somebody out there.
Wow. Barbara, you got to come back on the show again.
Oh,
I know that I'm coming on you real soon, but
you coming on mine too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I'm inviting you back on because you're absolutely fantastic, and just the education, how you do it, how you go about explaining things, give a personal visualization like they was there. So hey, thank you so much, and I gotta thank my executive producer and co-host, Dr. Michelle Cooley, for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. Most importantly, I have to thank my viewers and my listeners out there for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. Every day is your life. We'll see you same time tomorrow. But I want everybody to always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll see you tomorrow.